Hey there, it's Jessica Joy. This is my story, Solutions, because I'm only a solutions kind of person. Who are we? We are individuals sharing the reality of pornography's destruction. Together, we are creating a nation without exploitation. So, a little bit about us. We have pornography legislation introduced into 36 states. Awesome! So we do have 3 or 4 years of progress behind our belts, and I had never heard of the grassroots. So definitely, if you or someone you know knows prayer warriors, this video is for prayer warriors. If you or someone you know has a prayer warrior committee in your church, you guys love to pray about Aunt Ethel's foot fell off by diabetes and you're going to bring her some Debbie cakes this afternoon. If you or someone you know is a part of some prayer groups, this video is definitely for them. So we started pornography legislation in 36 states. And then after, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results. Can I get an amen? Amen. So I kept doing the same thing every single year and expecting different results. I had never heard of the grassroots. I didn't know what precincts were because I assumed that's where you get thrown into jail, locked up for good, and is that the drunk tank? I have no idea. And then I heard about Republican conventions, and every state has a Republican convention. I had no idea. I heard about precinct chairs and Senate committee chair. I had no idea. Why? Because what takes place at the conventions and the grassroots never actually gets filed. If you or someone you know knows how to log into legiscan.com. What's that, Ethel? Legiscan.com. What? Legiscan.com. Click on the search button and then click on your state or all states and you can look up any topic. You can look up the Texas Republican platform, which has over 300 planks that people fought, blood, sweat, tears, pulled off each other's wigs, stripped each other's eyelashes to make sure that their plank was pushed through. And I'm like, oh my goodness, is anybody going to tell them that their planks are never being filed? So I'm letting you know the background of why I'm like, oh my goodness, there's something darker here. So when I came to Texas before quarantine, I had seen, I focus on one legislator. I do research on who carries what bills and people who have skin in the game. Like, for example, if I want to abolish abortion, I focus on those my name is Miss America, and my platform is abolishing abortion. So, I choose who carries our legislation based on some research. And for example, the Stop Social Media Censorship Act, I looked for those legislators who have been banned off of Facebook, easy to find. So I go after those and I hunt down legislators. So I had hunted down Senator Paxton, who is the wife of the state attorney general in Texas. Well, I'd seen that she had over 60 bills filed and she has a lot of clout and she's filing them to file them. They're not actually passing. So I was like, why would she pass my bill to protect children from obscenity, demanding that all products that distribute the product of the internet be sold safe, that I don't have to pay another $10 to make this chair safe? Oh, what do you use? Do you use a monthly subscription to Covenant Eyes, the ones that fund all of our corrupt family policymakers? What do you use? We don't have to make a product safe. We have the Consumer Protection Agency, which says products should be sold safe. Bet you didn't know that. Raiders. So I saw this corruption and I realized our legislation will never pass. Will never pass. It will be filed another 10 years so that they can tell you, the constituent, the voter, that they protect families when they have power and influence and they don't even give their own bills a hearing. So they file all these special interest bills, and those are the ones that get heard. Those are the ones that get passed through. They file and pass each other's bills to make sure that they keep their seats. Yes. The last thing that they don't care about you. Anywho, so that brought me to Indivisible. I went to an Indivisible fight in Austin last month, and I was like, I know Indivisible. Indivisible is who trained me. Indivisible has apartments where people come, and you're going to have school board members pouring in and mentoring other school board members. You're going to have city council members pouring in and mentoring other city council members, and that's the voting base that gets the people elected into office so that when the policy comes through, it moves very fast and it's implemented very quickly. Because I'm going to show you a website called Indivisible. I'm going to show you. They rally. It's broken down to a four-year-old can repeat back to you what the Democratic Party is working on today. What plank of the communist agenda written in the book Naked Communism, which was read in front of Congress in 1963. They all have planks. They all are passionate about something. And then when there's a call to action, they all come together. You can find this in your capital cities Facebook. If you go dollars, somebody's trying to go. If you focus on a capital city, you're going to look at the events, click on causes, and you're going to see that the Democrats have occupied all of our schools. They have training every single day, and the last 15 minutes is where you there's lots of question and answers. You know exactly what you're going to do for the week. You know somebody in that district who knows somebody in that district who knows, okay, and you're all connecting to make sure that every base is taken care of, every platform, every agenda is taken care of. People bring their kids. There's clothes for your kids. You wear the mommy and matching t-shirts. There's activism books for your children. Just like we have church, they have the Church of Secular Humanism, and they all attend, and it's for all ages. And they are raising up the generation to burn down our cities. Okay, so I want to show you something. When you go onto Indivisible, you, on the landing page, you put in, it asks for all of your social media handles, like your Twitter, your Instagram, your Snap, I don't know what all the little things are, and then you're just so excited to be a part of something bigger than you, like the church should be. Yeah, they hijacked the Book of Acts. And you enter that all in, and then every single morning you get an email or a text of what bill you're pushing, of what the script is, who you're sending it to, and the follow-up. So they get you riled up. See, angry face. They get you angry face. Super angry. And then they give you talking points. I know it's going to show up backwards. And then there's policy behind the action that you're doing. So when I entered into this level, when I entered into this lane, I came in on policy. Well, without the people, you can't push policy. And they have policy for school boards. They have policy for city councils. How did they ban Christian conversion in all these city councils all together in the same year? It's because they have actions every single day of the week. They have 100 days of action. So they have policy for your school boards. They have policies for your city council, and they have policy written for your state legislation. And every single day of the week, you get a text message, you get an email, you get text message, email, Instagram, Twitter, you know the hashtags for the day, you know the chants of the day, you know where to show up. They have buses, they have food, they have all of, business sponsors, they have free lawyers in case you get arrested. But here, I'm going to show you their website. They have, here's your angry face, they get you riled up. Then they give you talking points. What are talking points? Talking points are where the same thing comes out of my mouth in Dallas County, the same thing is going to come out of my mouth in Collinsville, or the same thing is going to come out of my mouth in Austin. They are like the body of Christ. They think of one mind. They repeat the same thing. They answer all of each other's questions. They make sure that all of the bases are covered. So the website I'm about to show you, your grandma can figure out, your 14-year-old can figure out, your 20-year-old can figure out. Angry face to get you riled up. Here's your talking points, and everybody across the nation has the same talking points. Everyone is of one mind, one voice, calling out into the wilderness and bringing communism to the United States. I truly believe we've been set up. There's no way that the Republican Party could be this stupid not to ask who, maybe let's make fun of them organizing, or maybe they were onto something. They're getting their agenda passing while we are creating memes. Amen? So angry face, I'm going to show you the website. Angry face, which is me on Facebook when I'm getting people riled up about pornography legislation. Talking points, which I'm like, all products that distribute the product of the internet should be sold safe. And then there's like a 20-page policy behind it. Do you guys see? Angry face, talking points, policy. Okay, now I'm going to show you the website. When you go on to Indivisible, and immediately when I looked up on my Chromebook, it pulled up if if I'm sweating profusely, this is Texas. Whew. I'm like, these people love this. Okay, so I indivisible.com on my Chromebook pulled up the apps that tell you what's being heard in House committee, what states it's being heard in. Like, here's my state. Awesome. I have your zip code. This is what's being heard in the House committee of my state this week. Did you know that most red states take the summer off? Most red states are out of session from March or April all the way to January. Let me say it again. Red states are only in session January, February, March. Red states are only in session for 3 months at the most. Yeah, 3 months at the most. Blue states, when you look on Legiscan and you're like looking at the last activity and you put US, you're going to see that blue states are in session year round. Who is good? So first of all, we are set up majorly to fail. Republicans will joke, that's because we have jobs. Well, boo-boo. I'm sure we can work with the budget, take it from abortion, give these people a livable wage so that we have them at the State House around the clock. The blue states in the Northeast have session year round. The red states are in session 3 months a year. Who's going to get more work done? Texas takes off every other year. Texas, Montana, was it Arizona, Nevada, North Dakota? We have Republican states that actually are not in session. Did you know that? So you have blue states in session year round. You have red states that are only in session 3 or 4 months. Then you have 4 red states that take off every other year, including Texas. Take the money from abortion. You have the power. We, the people, have the power. And give these legislators a livable wage because we're getting our butts handed to us. Okay. Going to take you onto the website to freak you out how easy to read this is. So on my Chromebook, here's indivisible.com. And you're going to see Polis is an app that gives access to political issues, legislation, representatives. Once you learn this language, you can't help but do it tomorrow. Like, this is so addictive. Like, the Republicans are working on the election. And I showed these folks today, Indivisible. I'm like, when you see the Indivisible store, or when you see the Indivisible website, you don't need to remind people that it's the election. It's like they work all year, all 4 years for one day. No, we're not trained. Okay. So Indivisible. Here's group leader. Here's resources. Take action. Let's go to, okay, Indivisible. I'm going to show you the landing page. Beat Trump, save democracy. So these are the guys that have taken over you by every zip code. You put in your email and your zip code. Are they afraid of Republicans putting in, oh, what have Republicans put in, what Republicans are on our email list? Okay, here in Texas, all of Texans are afraid that Democrats are going to troll them. You can either hunker down and be afraid and do nothing and slit your wrist and starve your businesses, or you can choose to do something. Read the Bible once in a while. Indivisible, elect Joe Biden and build Congress. Okay, so call your senators and demand they pass the HEROES Action. So here's they're putting the policy. And then I bet I can click on there and there's going to be the talking points of why I want to see that take place. Then here is stop Trump from deploying federal forces against demonstrators. So once again, you're going to be clicking on that and you're going to have your legislators' phone numbers, your federal legislators, and then you are going to, they give you a script, they give you a phone number, they give you what to say. Then you can reply back. They have apps. They have apps that remind you every single week to call in, what to say, what's being heard on the House floor, the Senate floor, and they give you scripts. And you know every single day your phone is going to go off, and you know that you're going to do it. The district next to you is going to do it. The district next door is going to do it. So okay, so search states, find a local event. They're all over Texas. They are so cocky. They plan on flipping the House of Texas. Yes. They plan on it. They're so cocky. They're giving Texas other work for Minnesota and other legislators. Are you an indivisible group leader? Get the tools and training to strengthen your groups and build power locally. Indivisible action. Okay, so they have Zoom things. Like, let's say you are intimidated by Zoom. Well, don't worry about Zoom. They have tons of YouTube videos. If you don't like YouTube, they have tons of pictures. If you don't like pictures, they have a ton of blogs. If you don't like blogs, oh, look at this. Building rural and red state progressive power. Let's go ahead and click on that because they are not where we would never set foot in a blue state. They have no problem taking over our rural communities. Building rural. In 2019, Indivisible launched a rural caucus for local groups wanting to opt in and receiving extra support as they organize their neighborhoods and communities in rural America. And then, okay, do you live in a rural or red state? Find an indivisible group near you. Then, if you don't have a group that's near you, let's go back up to the top. We have something for everybody. Group leader resources. Here's your group leader resources. Dun, 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 dun. Attend a national virtual event. On sheruns.org, I had a mentor the next day to help me run for office, what to wear, what to say. Here's my talking points and here's my policy. Contact an organizer, register a local event, my voters application, filter group leaders, the action plan, building political power, fundraising and grants. Yes, they have grants for this. What is going on with the Republican budget? Who knows where all that money is going toward? National campaigns and networks, strategy and sustainability, tools and software. Ooh, just because I'm kind of curious, tools and software. We have boot camp registration, building, what are indivisible, July 20, okay, the action plan. So I can spend as long as I want on here today, or I can spend as little time as I want on here today. Who we are, about us, our board, our leadership. Let's look at media. Indivisible, if you like to read blogs, they have blogs. If you like to look at people's articles, they have articles. If you like their statements of faith and their statements, you got their statements. Take action. You like campaigns? If you're shut in and you can't get out of your house, they have online campaigns, advocacy resource library, endorsements, our democracy agenda, which is the 54 planks of communism. You have an indivisible book and indivisible candidates that they endorse. Yes. They take over your city councils and school boards. Here it is. Find a local group, find a local event, register a group, register an event, and how to give. The store. On Women's March, I noticed a really interesting thing is they have clothes for your 4-year-old. They have clothes for your 14-year-old. They have clothes for granny. They're going to dress you all the same. You're going to talk with the same talking points. You're going to walk with the same talking. You're going to walk the same, talk the same. You, as passionate as you are for church, they are passionate about the Church of Secular Humanism. So, anyways, I wanted to go live before I go to an event tonight. Be in prayer. I'm going to an Allen West event tonight and then going out to dinner with some precinct chairs. We're going to go over a business plan to do a conservative version of this, which is angry face, talking points, policy, angry face, talking points, policy. What have I been on for 4 years? I've had policy, but I've had no people. And what does the Democratic Party have down pat? They have the people eating out of the palm of their hands. They're organized. My dream is to have apartments full of bunk beds where people are trained and then they go have a training intensive and they go back and they know that they're recruiting board members to follow up behind them and that everyone is all in this to make sure that that board is taken care of when those terms are up, when that city council is taking terms are up, and when they're taken care of. Everybody watches out for everybody and makes sure that every chair is covered with their people. Are the Republicans doing this? No, not yet. But who are this? Why am I in Texas? Well, Texas and Oklahoma are the two states that are closest to actually working together. Texas and Oklahoma came together over the issue of abolition. See, I know that we are not taught that there's hundreds of bills flying through those state houses every single day. And so people ran on abolition. Well, what about the other 100 bills that are flying through those hands? Those people are profiting off us being stupid. No, honey boo boo. So why am I in Texas? Because Texas and Oklahoma are the most organized, where the grassroots is the most ticked off and the grassroots most want to do something. So be in prayer that what we start working on tonight is duplicatable. And to God be the glory. God's got an army. I want us to go out with our boots on. Occupy.